Hello, welcome once again to Ask Housing. This is a second interview of the day where we are catching up with experts to get a fix on what's happened in the union budget, what have home buyers gained from it, what has the industry gained from it. The mood definitely was a little somber. Nifty went down right after the budget, but we are catching up with Mr. Balwant Jain, who is a finance and taxation expert with over 35 years of experience. I'm Jumur Ghosh. I'm the editor-in-chief of Housing.com News. My job is simple. I get to ask him the questions. His job is to make sense of whatever information was given to us. So, sir, what's your take on this year's budget? What has the sector gained? What have home buyers gained, or have they not gained anything at all?
So for home buyers, or rather the home owners who intend to sell, there is good news as well as bad news. Right. So let us come to the good news.
All right.
So there is provision under the Income Tax Act.
Yes.
So for developer, there is a separate section 43 CA.
Okay.
And for people who hold the immovable property as a capital asset, is a section 50C.
Okay.
That section provides that whenever you sell a property, the value has to be minimum as per the stamp duty ready reckoner or the circle rate, which is normally known in the North India. So even if there is a minor variation, if it is lesser by 1%, 2%, the taxpayer has to pay higher tax. So developer has to show it as a business income. The other taxpayers have to show it as a capital gain. Okay. So then this used to result in the litigation for small amount. So the finance minister has proposed to rationalize this provision. Okay. So as long as the difference between these two value, your agreement value is not lower more than by 5% of the circle rate, the value declared in your agreement will be deemed to be your sale consideration. This is relief. So people and looking at the correction in the market, at least the circle rates are higher than the actual agreement rate. So if the correction is not more than 5%, then those people are safeguarded. There is a second side of this coin. So these are the seller side. Even for the buyer who bought the shares at a lower rate than the circle rate, the difference was treated his income. So the seller was required to pay tax. Buyer was also required to pay tax. So the difference of 5% is allowed to the buyer also, subject to if the difference is more than 50,000 rupees or more than 50,000, then it becomes taxable, but higher of 5% or 50,000. So as long as the difference does not exceed 5%, it will not be taxed in the hands of the
And you believe
seller,
that can bring some kind of relief?
Yeah, obviously. Obviously. At least it will avoid litigation. And then people will have a buffer of 5% at least. What used to happen, even the seller who actually got lower money for claiming exemptions under section 54, 54F or 54C, EC was required to invest higher amount. So they will be saved. Now comes the bad news. So in addition to making investment in residential house of your capital gain or sale consideration, under section 54 and 54A, there is a section 54EC, which allows you to invest capital gains up to 50 lakhs in a year on sale of any long-term asset. So you were required to buy, or rather you are required to buy bonds within a period of 6 months from the date of the sale. The bonds, presently the bonds have tenure of 3 years. So going forward from 1st April 2018, the tenure of the bonds will be 5 years. So it will adversely impact because the rate of interest is 5.25 only. So till now it was very attractive for the people to opt for section 54EC because the tax saved on long-term capital is 20%. If you divide it by the holding period 3 years, so per year saving comes to around 7%, and you add 5.25% interest being paid on it, it comes to 12.25%, which is higher than the market rate, interest rate you get from the market. Now it will come down to 4 plus 5 so it comes to around 9.25. So people will not be so motivated to invest in the capital gain bonds. But my advice to the people who have already sold or who are intending to sell any property rather long term, and their 6 months period may spill over beyond 31st March also. So I will advise them to invest, not to wait till the 6th month comes. So invest before 31st March 2018, so that your lock-in period will be only 3 years and not the 5 years.
That's very good advice.
So for developers, the finance minister has proposed, the developer said 2 options for offering the income for taxation. One was the project completion method. So they would carry over the cost incurred year after year as a work in progress, and once the project is completed, they will offer that for taxation. The now finance minister has proposed that the builder and developer have to follow percentage completion method. Means to the extent the construction is completed, you have to recognize the income and offer. So now the builders will have to pay tax every year on their to the extent it is completed. One more thing finance minister is proposing, that earlier what used to happen, builder would earn some money, spare funds which were lying with them. They would invest in FD, etc. So they used to set up those interests against the cost and effectively were not paying any tax on that interest. Now the finance minister has proposed that you are not allowed to set it off. So you have to offer the interest income separately for tax and carry for calculate your profit based on your actual cost.
Okay. So, this we're talking about the benefits and the losses and whatever. I was going through my Twitter feed, and it seems that the salaried class, and that would be primarily my viewer and the home buyer, they seem to feel that, there's not much, that has been gained by them. It seems to be a status quo. Nothing has changed adversely, but they are sort of feeling ignored. Now, you're the expert, so obviously you've gone through the fine print. Would you say that they've been ignored, or is there something we are missing?
So I will not say that they have been ignored, but no substantial benefit has been given to them.
All right.
See, what the finance minister has proposed, he has proposed a standard deduction of 40,000. Without linking it as a percentage of the salary. So it is up to 40,000, this is exempt. But at the same time, giving by one end, he has taken away by the other end. So he has removed this medical reimbursement exemption of 15,000 and conveyance allowance of 1,600 per month. That comes to around 19,000 yearly. But so this amount comes to around 35,000, which he has given 40,000. But if you look at the limit of 15,000, it was fixed in 1999. Today we are in 2018. Wow. So if you cost index it, that the 15,000 would have become at least 45,000 by now. So people were expecting that the finance minister will increase the amount of medical reimbursement. But this component of medical reimbursement and conveyance allowance are not allowed to each and every employee. So for the employees who get the flat salary without the salary being broken in several components, they will gain the benefit of 40,000 rupees, because anyway such people do not have for this 15,000 or conveyance allowance component as a salary, part of the salary, separate component.
So now tell me something, what about, earlier we were talking about, some of the benefits that were handed out to the senior citizens. Would you maybe like to tell our viewers a little about, what is it that they have gained, in terms of actual terms? And I'd also like you to speak out, we were speaking about the health insurance and how you believe that will be like a major thing. Perhaps we could talk about that as well.
So first I'll take the health insurance part. So all developed countries have a social security system where the medical treatment is at least free for the citizens.
Yeah.
So we still being not poor, but still being developing country, we can't afford to provide medical treatment to all the citizens. But as per the finance minister's budget speech, he intends to cover 10 crore family, equal to 50,000, 50 crore. That is almost 40-45% of the population. So at least people who are lower middle class people or poor people, they will get an health insurance of 5 lakh. This is excellent benefit provided to the poor people, and these are the people who deserve it. Because if you look at the cost of medical treatment, which have gone exorbitantly high year up, they have been going high and higher year after year. So if somebody falls in a poor man's family, his budget gets upset for the entire year. So this 5 lakhs insurance will help them a lot. I'm extremely happy about this provision. I would say rather this is icing on the budget cake. So we would not get any part of this icing, but I'm extremely happy for the other people. As far as the other citizens are concerned, if you consider benefits to individual taxpayers, it is senior citizens' budget. So, for senior citizens who generally are dependent on the FD interest for their source of livelihood. So, up to now, we have a provision under Section 80 TTA where only saving bank account interest is exempt up to 10,000. What Finance Minister is proposing that for senior citizen, not only the saving interest, even the FD interest or RD interest received from banks, cooperative society or post office will get deduction up to 50,000. So effectively, the finance minister has increased the exemption limit for senior citizen. Moreover, up to 50,000 rupees of interest paid by each of these entities, there will no TDS. One more very beneficial provision for senior citizen, which I was expecting, and I have written about it in articles also, that once a person crosses 60 years of age, until now if he has not bought his health insurance, it becomes very difficult for him to buy health insurance policy due to pre-existing disease. Because by the time you complete 60 years, invariably you get one or the other ailment. So the finance minister had amended the law under Section 80D for deduction for health insurance premium. So senior citizens were entitled for 30,000. And very senior citizen means people who have completed 80 years of age and who did not have any health insurance were even entitled to claim the deduction, who did not have any insurance, by just spending on their regular health checkup. So this discrimination between senior citizen, people who are above 60 and above 80, has been done away with. So even a senior citizen, a person who has completed 60 years of age, will be able to claim up to 50,000 this year. The limit has been revised to 50,000 this year for any expenditure incurred on his treatment or his family members. And even it is not only for the senior citizen himself, even the children who are supporting the senior citizens, they can also claim this benefit. So people who have senior citizens around them who are dependent on them, they can also claim the expenses up to 50,000 in case they are not able to get a medical insurance. And if they have been able to get medical insurance, you will get anyway benefit for your medical insurance premium.
So what you're saying is this budget it's fairly a mixed bag, and it doesn't mean that, you know, we have to be totally negative about it, because, you know, the initial sentiments and the initial views were not so positive, especially from the home buyers point of view. So if as an expert you had to sort of sum up the budget, this year's budget, in like one sentence, what would you say?
So for home buyer, nothing new has come, but people who intend to sell the property, they at least need not worry, at least for 5% of the value. For senior citizen, as I told, they've been richly rewarded. For investors, the finance minister has brought in this long-term capital gain on equity and equity-oriented schemes. So this, anyway, market was anticipating it. But what the finance minister has done, that he has provided you shield till the valuation of 31st January 2018. So any appreciation which you have done, gained up to 31st January 2018 will not become taxable henceforth. So any appreciation which you earn on your equity shares or mutual fund will be taxable post 31st January, and the tax is only 10%. So rationally, logically, when you are earning in double digit, last year the market returned you around 31%. When you are earning 31%, you should not mind paying 10% to the government.
Okay, so that's a very balanced view that Mr. Jain has taken on the budget today. That's all that we have right now, but do keep track of this space. We'll be back again soon. Do follow us on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. I hope to see you guys soon. Take care, and thank you once again for tuning in.